Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Wednesday at noon and is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Saturday at noon, 3 and 6. Today's January 3rd, 2017, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, the woman killed in an ATV crash Thursday south of Durango was identified as 35-year-old Lisa Roque of Arizona. La Plata County Coroner Jan Smith said Roque was in Durango visiting relatives who lived near the scene of the accident. The crash happened at about 1:20 p.m. in the 600 block of Camino Iglesia off La Posta Road, County Road 213, about 13 miles south of Durango. La Plata County Sheriff's Office spokesman Chris Burke said Roque was going for a ride with her 9-year-old daughter, who was originally believed to be younger, when she swerved to miss a dog in the road and rolled the ATV. Burke said a passerby saw the child running for help and that she was really shaken up. Roque was pronounced dead at the scene, and her daughter was taken to Mercy Regional Medical Center with a bloody nose. A Flight for Life helicopter was put on standby, but the chopper was canceled before launching. Burke said neither rider wore a helmet.
As we talked about yesterday, the minimum wage in Colorado increased from $9.30 to $10.20 an hour on New Year's Day. It might not affect employees and businesses in places where the entry-level pay is already higher than $10.20, say in Durango. But the Journal reported, however, when the minimum wage rises to $12 an hour in 2020, it's unclear if the increase will boost pay for entry-level employees in Durango or cause business owners there, too, to look for alternatives to hiring. On November 8, 2016, Colorado voters passed Amendment 70, which raised the minimum wage across Colorado by 90 cents a year until it reaches $12 an hour in 2020. The measure passed 55% to 45%. Rocky Moss, manager of the Cortez Area Chamber of Commerce and the Dolores Chamber of Commerce, said the minimum wage increase might have more of an impact in rural southwest Colorado and in towns outside of Durango. It's going to cost you incrementally, she said. If you have a payroll and you have 120 hours a week, you can do the math. Yeah, I think it's going to have an impact. Moss said the increase in the minimum wage could also force increases in pay up the wage scale ladder, causing additional payroll costs. The McDonald's in Cortez, she said, has added 2 kiosks for customers to self-order. Who knows if more of that will start to happen, she said. The Chambers of Commerce in Cortez and Dolores want to conduct a study of the minimum wage increase in the 2 communities, she said, and would like to hear from businesses about the impact of the rate increase. She added that a $12 minimum wage might not harm job creation on the economically vibrant Front Range, but it could dampen job creation in rural Colorado. In our next coverage, we'll look at what this is doing to driving the costs and the divide in the restaurant business, from the salary cooks to the tip-earning wait staff.
According to the Cortez Journal, investigators on Tuesday were combing through a mangled Greyhound bus to determine whether any mechanical problems caused it to careen from a road in the Utah desert on New Year's Eve, killing a 13-year-old girl and injuring 12 other people. Meanwhile, the driver of the bus remained hospitalized in critical condition with skull fractures and other serious injuries, Utah Highway Patrol Lieutenant Steve Salas said. The bus was carrying 14 people, including the driver, when it drifted off the shoulder of Interstate 70 and crashed into a ravine about 200 miles south of Salt Lake City. A passenger told authorities there may have been a medical issue with the driver, but Salas said investigators had not confirmed that report. He also said he did not know the name of the driver or whether he had any previous accidents. Some of the passengers were unconscious and trapped during the crash and had to be helped from the bus by other passengers. One woman helped drag her husband out of the bus and up a hill to the side of the highway. Salas said most of the passengers escaped from the wreckage by climbing out of a rear window of the bus, which remained upright as it bridged the ravine. Passengers flagged down a truck driver for help. No other motorists saw the crash, and investigators have not yet determined how fast the bus was going before the deadly crash. Investigators don't believe it was braking or slowing, but instead drifted off the right shoulder of the highway along a curve and traveled about 1,000 feet, or 300 meters, along alongside the interstate before it came to a stop in the steep ravine. The bus is not equipped with seatbelts for passengers, Salas said. The driver's seat is the only one on the bus with a seatbelt, but investigators don't know if the driver was wearing it. Most of the injured people had neck and back injuries. Authorities identified the girl killed as Summer Pinzon of Azusa, California. She was sitting next to her mother, who was hospitalized with a leg injury after the crash, Salas said. Authorities did not release the mother's name, but said the two were headed to California.
Out of Round Rock, Texas, the Journal reported police are searching for a 44-year-old man they've identified as a person of interest in the death of a woman and abduction of her 2 daughters. Authorities say Terry Allen Miles is being sought for questioning in the death of 44-year-old Tanya Bates, whose body was found Sunday at the home they shared in Round Rock, north of Austin. Round Rock Police Chief Alan Banks said Monday that Miles and Bates were roommates. He says it's not clear how long Bates had been dead before her body was found. Banks says investigators believe Miles took the woman's 14 and 7-year-old daughters. An Amber Alert was issued Sunday for the girls. The Hyundai Accent that Miles is believed to be driving was last seen in northern New Mexico or southern Colorado. The photo shows it as a silver gold metallic color with Texas license plate JGH 9845. If located, call 911 or the Round Rock Police Department at 512-218-5515.
According to the Cortez Journal, Montezuma County Sheriff's deputies responded December 23rd to a home in Lewis after receiving a report of 3 men who had caused a disturbance at a Christmas party. Just after midnight, a man reported he and his wife had hosted a party that evening that ended in a cornhole tournament behind their house, which was located in the 12,000 block of County Road 23.25 loop. During the game, in which players tossed small bags similar to bean bags at or into a hole in the top of a box, one man reportedly punched another in the face, the report says. He then reportedly punched the owner of the house after he tried to break up the fight, knocking him unconscious for several minutes, according to a witness. Although witnesses did not immediately press charges against the subject, he was later arrested on suspicion of assault. According to the incident report written by Patrol Deputy Brian Hill, all the adults at the party were drinking alcohol before the incident. A party guest named Rodney Woody reportedly punched one of the other guests, Ruddy Hampton, as he was leaving, knocking him to the ground, then continued to punch him while he lay on the ground. The homeowner, Bryce Rogers, said he separated the 2 men, but Woody continued to shout profanities at the guests, so he asked him to leave. Woody then reportedly punched him in the face, causing him to black out. The other party guests then reportedly forced Woody to leave the property. Hill reported that Rogers appeared to have a black eye and Hampton had a broken tooth and swollen jaw. They both refused medical attention. Deputies collected blood-stained gravel from the driveway where the fight occurred as evidence, but both Rogers and Hampton declined to press charges at first, saying they had been friends with Woody for a long time. Hampton reportedly said he wasn't sure why Woody had started the fight. Woody was arrested December 31st on a warrant for second-degree assault, according to Sheriff Steve Nowlin. And now let's take a look at the weather.
Looking first at our national map from Raytheon data-driven NOAA National Weather Service, you see the rain potential across the west coast, mostly high and dry all across the west, southwest, and intermountain west, except for some snow prospects in Montana. Though high pressure stays across the Midwest, Central Plains, and Southeast, there the temperatures are continuing to be frigid, as the storm system in the Great Lakes and all along the eastern seaboard is plaguing the population with rain, snow, and ice mixes. The potential for difficult travel continues through Thursday. Regionally, it'll be dry and mild weather will persist across eastern Utah and western Colorado through much of the week. We stay under northwesterly flow as the high pressure remains in control over the western United States. Temperatures will continue to remain several degrees above normal during the afternoons. The next snow potential is now looking like Saturday evening into Sunday across western Colorado, though the predictions are still undetermined how much moisture may reach the ground with this first very fast-moving system. The DCTV 5-day outlook in conjunction with the National Weather Service shows today mostly sunny with a high near 46, south winds around 5 miles an hour. Tonight partly cloudy with a low around 21 degrees, east-southeast winds around 5. Now, my temperatures went down to a bone-chilling 7 degrees southwest of Dove Creek this morning. Further southwest, I heard a temp of 19, so it really depends on what side of a canyon, hilltop, or valley you live in, what your specific low overnight temp may be, and those winds don't help a thing. Thursday looks to be sunny with a high near 50, northeast winds around 5 miles an hour becoming west-northwest in the afternoon. Thursday night mostly clear with a low around 24. North-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour becoming east-southeast after midnight. Then Friday mostly sunny with a high near 50, east-southeast winds 5 miles an hour becoming west-southwest in the afternoon. Friday night partly cloudy with a low around 26. Saturday a chance of snow showers before 4 p.m. and then a chance of rain and snow showers, mostly cloudy with a high near 47. The chance of precipitation right now is 40%. Saturday night a chance of rain and snow showers before 7 p.m. and then a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 26. Sunday morning that fast storm moves out, creating a mostly sunny day with a high near 44. Sunday night partly cloudy with a low around 23. And into the next work week, Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 47. Monday night mostly cloudy with a low around 24. And now back to the news.
Reported by the Dove Creek Press, House Bill 17-1220 has been placed into effect as of January 1st, 2018 in an effort to prevent marijuana diversion to illegal market. Prior to the passage of this bill, the allowable number of plants was limited to 6 plants per adult living in a residence. This language allowed for the possibility of very large grows. These grows posed potential safety risk of life and property due to, among other things, the moisture and mold content of the plants and the electricity needed to maintain grow lights. The large grow capacity also inadvertently invited criminal enterprises to grow legally in plain sight for the express purpose of diverting production from those legal grows into the illegal market. Concerns over human trafficking also were addressed. This updated legislation clarifies the maximum plants allowable to be grown both for recreational use and for medical use. The new language states, regardless of whether the plants are for medical or recreational use, it is unlawful for a person to knowingly cultivate, grow, or produce more than 12 marijuana plants on or in a residential property. The bill acknowledges those medical marijuana patients who may be allowed larger numbers of plants based on their condition. In addition to improving the defining of plant limits, the bill also addresses stricter penalties and fines for going over plant limits. This is one of 18 laws involving hemp and marijuana passed in Colorado in 2017.
The Journal reported that starting Wednesday evening tonight, the Mancos Public Library will host a free 4-part class on American government and civics. American Government Primer, taught by Crested Butte attorney Sarah Coleman, will be live streamed at the library starting at 6 p.m. each Wednesday. Coleman said it will focus on 3 themes: federalism, the branches of government, and how the government interacts with individuals. Each class will be open to the public. This is the 3rd time Coleman has taught the course in Gunnison County, but this will be her first time broadcasting it to other libraries. Mancos will be one of about half a dozen libraries to receive the live stream from the Crested Butte Library. Coleman said she was inspired to teach the course after the 2014 midterm elections, when only about 30% of eligible U.S. voters went to the polls. She said she believed many voters had misconceptions about the way government and elections worked, and she created the course to help combat those misconceptions. Over the past year and a half, there's been an upwelling of people being interested in politics, she said, but people don't always have the information to engage the government with confidence. She said the course is designed to provide a 30,000-foot view of the federal and state government. It will cover the ways states interact with the federal government, how each branch of government balances the other, and how individual citizens can become involved in those processes. Since Coleman's background is in law, she said she will approach these topics mainly from a legal perspective. She said she hoped the course would provide context for political issues people see in the news and empower them to be more involved in their government. The library's adult program coordinator, Sherry Dunn, said she just about jumped out of her chair when she saw Coleman was offering to broadcast the course. "I believe there is a dearth of knowledge among people about how government does work," she said. Coleman said this month's course will be a pilot for future live streams. If it's successful, she said she hopes to expand to more libraries in the future. The classes will be offered on January 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 31st. Coleman said people are welcome to attend any or all of them. For more details, call the library, 970-533-7600, or go to the Mancos Public Library Facebook page.
According to the Dove Creek Press, effective January 1st, 2018, if a motorist leaves a scene of an accident involving serious bodily injury or death in addition to other charges, law enforcement can also revoke your license immediately and issue a suspension of 1 year against your driver's license. This revocation is in addition to and runs concurrently with any other suspension that the accident may also have imposed. In the eyes of the law, it defines serious bodily injury as bodily injury which, either at the time of the actual injury or at a later time, involves a substantial risk of death, a substantial risk of serious permanent disfigurement, a substantial risk of protracted loss or impairment of the function of any part or organ of the body, or breaks, fractures, or burns of the second degree or third degree. The statute defines the procedures to review the law enforcement department's decision and or an appeal for a probationary license. The appeal for the probationary license does not allow for a provisional license while awaiting a decision. The suspension remains in force.
In a comprehensive hemp happenings section, this is from the Cannabis.co, reporting on the news updates of CBD oils and extracts from industrial hemp. Traditional retailers either could be offering a glimpse into the future where CBD products are sold like fish oil as they place hemp-based oil products on their shelves, or they could be enjoying a fleeting moment in the course of history for the non-psychoactive cannabis compound, as health food grocers such as Alfalfa's and Lucky's stock CBD products on store shelves. A novel cannabis-based pharmaceutical product that could upend the cottage industry is chugging through the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approval pipeline. But it's not just the FDA that will decide how hemp-derived cannabinoid-rich products should be classified and whether they can be legally sold. Battles for the cannabis compound's future wage on Capitol Hill, where the legislative churn includes provisions that could strengthen or threaten CBD's legality. In the federal courts, where semantics reign supreme as definitions of hemp, marijuana, and their chemical components hang in the balance, and the United Nations World Health Organization, where a brain trust examines all facets of cannabis and its chemical compounds. The future of hemp-derived CBD may be a hodgepodge of court battles, regulations, and laws, but at the foundation for potential change is the status of the marketplace now. National sales projections for hemp CBD products have been lofty. The Brightfield Group of Chicago, it's a based cannabis market analytical firm, pegs the hemp CBD market at about $174 million for 2016. Their crystal ball gaze sees sales skyrocketing to $1.6 billion by 2021. Growth is continuing from a relatively small base, and there is still much room to grow for hemp CBD, Bethany Gomez, Brightfield Group's Director of Research, said in an emailed statement. Education levels are still low about these products, but the word is getting out at a rapid clip, and this is where the bulk of demand will come from moving forward. It is still an unknown business. In September, discount retailer Target Corporation's website briefly carried a selection of CBD-rich extracts made by Colorado's CW Hemp. Target pulled the oils just hours after the cannabis reported on the development, a move that legal and drug policy experts said would be groundbreaking but also possibly illegal. In October, producers within the artisan hemp extract market were smacked with a stark reminder from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration that their operations stand on unstable ground. The agency warned CW Hemp and 3 other producers of CBD extracts of illegally marketing their products. The firms made baseless health claims and that their products could cure cancer and a myriad of other ailments, officials said. These hemp extract producers are always going to operate in the food and supplement space, and in that space, medical claims are a giant no-no. But whether that space is even a plausible shelter for CBD extracts remains unclear. The FDA has been openly sour on the idea of CBD as a dietary supplement, and 3 of the 4 recent warning letters included friendly reminders that CBD-rich hemp extracts could not and should not be classified as dietary supplements. Not all hemp advocates, however, are heading down the worst-case scenario route. Jonathan Miller, a general counsel for the U.S. Hemp Roundtable, a Lexington, Kentucky-based 501c4 nonprofit organization who is lobbying for the passage of the Industrial Hemp Farming Act of 2017, said we really see a 2-track future. On the one end of the spectrum could be the CBD-based pharmaceutical formulations approved for certain medical conditions, allowed to make medical claims, and eligible for insurance reimbursements, Miller speculated. On the other end would be CBD-rich extract products available akin to how fish oil supplements are sold. The U.S. Hemp Roundtable has taken the position that existing law and court opinions favor the legality of hemp extracts. The passage of the Industrial Hemp Farming Act would eliminate any confusion by removing hemp from the purview of the Controlled Substance Act, Miller said. In an opinion statement issued October 2, 2017, Miller stated that the sale of hemp-derived CBD is legitimized by decisions out of the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals and the language of the Federal Agricultural Act of 2014, or the Farm Bill. Miller envisions appropriate levels of standards for the over-the-counter hemp extracts. The Roundtable is establishing the architecture of a self-regulated organization to help define guidelines, practices, and protocols for hemp-derived products, such as CBD-rich extracts. The FDA's position on the matter stands at odds with the 2014 Farm Act and the provisions of the pilot programs of many hemp-producing states. That also means that the FDA does not enforce food safety standards, known as good manufacturing practices, with respect to hemp foods and supplements. In the absence of official oversight, some companies have voluntarily complied with federal GMP standards, and some states have started developing food safety policies that address hemp-derived products, cannabis attorney Rod Kite of North Carolina said. Colorado is one such state. This summer, state officials establishing a new policy for regulating hemp foods. Colorado regulators sought to solve a problem. Colorado laws allow for the production of industrial hemp. However, state law, which mirrors federal law, prohibits the use of hemp stalk and flour in food, primarily because of the presence of unapproved food ingredients, in particular cannabidiol. State regulators worked closely with hemp industry leaders during the 2017 legislative session, he said. The policy was looked at as a first best step, with all parties leaving the door open for future legislation. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment this summer released a set of good manufacturing practice guidelines for industrial hemp in food. The conditions outline aspects such as utilizing hemp plant parts from a state or country with an approved industrial hemp program, meeting standard of identity of no more than 0.3% of THC, labeling hemp and CBD, including a statement that the FDA has not evaluated this product for safety or efficacy, and ensuring no health claims are made. The policy also makes it clear that the guidelines are for use within the bounds of Colorado and are not meant to establish or infer conformance with federal laws.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of December 25th through the 31st. A possible stolen vehicle was reported by a town resident. After investigation, it was learned that the vehicle was awaiting owner pickup at an impound yard. A town business reported a dog running loose on Highway 491 in town. The town's animal control officer was notified. An officer investigated a report of harassment of one county resident by another. An official from RICO reported a break-in at the fuel tanks, resulting in property damage and theft. The case is pending investigation. A resident reported a deer tangled in fence line on County Road 14. The animal was freed by a Dolores County Sheriff deputy and the reporting party. The Division of Wildlife was notified. Cortez Dispatch passed on a report of a large group of motorcyclists causing traffic problems. Colorado State Patrol were also notified to be aware. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
On today's High Canyon Country Happenings, January 7th, from 12:30 to 2 p.m., the private showing of mixed media work hosted by Julia Kelly, artist, will be at the Heart and Core Yoga Studio in Cortez. It's free and no downward dog is required. Over in Mancos, at the Mancos Brewing Company on January 6th, is Terry Rickard playing from 6 to 9 p.m. Terry grew up playing in rock bands around Boston area before moving to Southern California. In the 80s and early 90s, he played all over Orange and LA counties as a solo guitarist vocalist. He now lives in Southwest Colorado and plays at resorts, clubs, and restaurants throughout the Four Corners area. Terry's musical roots are classical rock, but after living in Colorado for some time, he can also do a full night of country music. He can also mix in some blues, reggae, contemporary rock, and his own original compositions. So if you haven't checked out the Brewing Company's new location, 2018 is a great time to make a visit. And here's one I've never seen posted on Facebook, a paper airplane contest on Friday, January 5th from 1 to 3 p.m., hosted by the Natarita Community Library. It is an uplifting spirit of simply doing things. The library says, let's go create, fly, and compete in fun games with airplanes. Well, why not? All of the happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original posts and stories. To share your event, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com, or call the station 970-677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Wednesday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Duff Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.